Okay, welcome guys. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Field of Lost Shoes. This is a movie I just recently saw and spent the 15-20 bucks to see it. 'Cause, you know, when you go to movies, you can't just go see the movie. You got to get the popcorn, you got to get the drink, you got to get the nachos, you got to get the whole movie experience. So yeah, it costs a lot of money. So I went to see Field of Lost Shoes because this is the first, well, actually probably only Civil War movie that we're going to see out in theaters this year. It actually has a pretty all-star cast here. We got Jason Isaacs, which is the guy from The Patriot, which is this guy right here. I think this is Tom Skerritt. I probably know him from literally tons of films. I mean, the guy's roster is long. And then the guy on the right, David Arquette, which you're probably familiar if you saw the Scream films back in the 90s, or if you watch Friends, he was also in that TV show. But the actual movie doesn't focus on these three guys. These are more like supporting actors. The actual movie focuses on a group of teenage cadets from the Virginia Military Institute. If I can show you, these guys right here. These guys are the stars of the film. They're the main actors. Oh, I forgot also, David Smith's in here. I don't know why they don't put his photo, but he did a really good performance. Keith David, I'm sorry. Keith David really did a really great performance. I think he played, trying to find the exact thing here, role that he played. He played old judge in a movie, which was kind of like the cook or baker in the movie, who was also turned out to be a slave too. But basically the movie focused on these guys right here. They were kind of like the main actors. So if you're not familiar, basically the battle surrounds the Battle of Newmarket, which was fought in May 1864. It was part of the grand initiative that Grant kind of set together with Meade attacking in the east, Sherman attacking in the west, and then Franz Sigel in the Shenandoah Valley. They're running low on men, so John Breckinridge basically drafted a group of teenage cadets from the Virginia Military Institute to support the battle. Basically, they not only supported, but they actually won the battle for the Confederacy, which was pretty huge. And this movie focuses on that, particularly these guys here. Now, let's go over actually all the roles, so just so I can give you kind of like a breakdown of who did what. And so these guys are all obviously from the Virginia Military Academy. Luke Benward, this guy right here, played John Wise. Max, which is this guy, Max Lloyd Jones, played Sam Atwill, and Nolan Gould played Sir Rat, which is this guy. And the other ones, they did good jobs, but they were more like supporting. They were support characters, I think, even though, you know, how do I say? I don't want to put them as support actors. I know they're like the main actors in the film, but I can tell you at the end of the film, I was more concerned with what happened with these guys. There are particular sets of the film that focus on each of them, but primarily it was around these three guys. And also the love story that was going on between this guy and this girl. So that's actually in there. If you bring your wife or your girlfriend, they'll probably enjoy that. So basically, jumping into the film, Tom Skerritt, just in the middle of that picture there, he plays General Ulysses S. Grant, and Jason Isaac plays John Breckinridge, and David Arquette plays Colonel Henry DuPont. Now, starting from left to right, I did enjoy John Isaac's performance of Breckinridge in a film. He did a good job, I think. I don't know too much about Breckinridge in history. There were certain things I read. I feel like he did an adequate job. Now, General Grant, played by Tom Skerritt, which is a veteran actor, I gotta say, I didn't feel it. You know, I didn't feel that he had the essence, the kind of, from what I read about Grant, I don't feel he had the kind of what made Grant Grant. You know, I remember Shelby Foote saying something like Grant had 4 o'clock in the morning syndrome, something like that. where basically his staff can run in the middle of the night, wake him up and at 4 a.m. and say, "Sir, the enemy has turned our flank." And when most generals would, panic and freak out, he would be steady. And he would say, "All right, well, this is what we're going to do." He didn't kind of convey that. And it wasn't there. Now, maybe, and also I got to mention this because these were probably the only performances I wasn't too crazy about in a film. Tom Skerritt's performance and this other guy who played a pretty big character, if I can find him, there we go, Michael Krebs, who played Abraham Lincoln. He didn't do a good job either. I just feel it didn't get the essence of the character of Abraham Lincoln, who's a huge role in American history. I just didn't feel it. And then when Michael Krebs and Tom Skerritt kind of were in the same scene together, it was even worse. They didn't have any kind of they didn't sync together. And maybe I'm kind of, my kind of vision is kind of tainted because I saw the movie Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis, who did an incredible job of portraying Lincoln. And believe it or not, Jared Harris, who played General Grant in the movie Lincoln, did also an incredible job. And I feel he portrayed General Grant a lot better than Tom Skerritt did as General Grant. He didn't have it. I just missed the mark. I was hoping, because he's a veteran actor, and but I guess it just didn't fit him, Next on the list, let's see what else. I told you about John Breckinridge. I did enjoy his Jason Isaac as John Breckinridge. I did enjoy his role. Let me go back to these kids here. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, like I was saying, these are the three main characters that I actually cared at the end of the movie what happened to. They did a really good job, especially as being, new characters. They don't seem familiar. I don't think I've seen them in many movies, or if any. But they did a really good job, especially the main character, which is this kid right here, which was played by Luke Benward as John Wise. Believe it or not, Courtney Gaines, I really didn't like him in too many movies in his previous films, but he did a really good job. I was kind of surprised by this. He did a good job. He was kind of like the kind of disciplinarian in the Virginia Military Institute, and he kind of led the kids the soldiers to war. And he did a good job. It actually showed that he actually cared about them, and he actually got really into the role, which I was kind of surprised at. Now, I told you about the acting. It was good, except for a few things. But the main thing, obviously, this is a battle movie, so how was the battle? Well, believe it or not, I did enjoy, the battle scenes in here. I forgot to tell you about David Arquette. I did like his performance. I don't think they gave him as much screen time as they should have. I would have loved to see him in more throughout the film, because I think they kind of shortened him, but I think his performance was good too. Now let's see if I can find, oh, there we go. So, battle scenes in this movie, they were good. I liked it. It's not Gettysburg, so don't expect Gettysburg and going in there and expecting kind of like a Joshua Chamberlain where he's charging down the hill. Don't expect that. This is not that. You do got some kind of scenes like this where they probably put a GoPro at the end of their rifle and charge. Got some nice scenes like this. But this is not, this is not Gettysburg where you have Pickett there and says, "Come on, boys, give them the cold steel." This is not going to be like that. The battle scenes here are not as long. A lot of the battle scenes, I feel, were taken from, believe it or not, from reenactments. Not to say that's a bad thing, but I noticed scenes that were shot like this were different from the scenes that were from, when you have thousands of soldiers shooting at each other. They look like different cameras. I can tell. Now, it's not a bad thing, but I can just tell the difference. But overall, the battle scenes were really good. But just don't go to this movie expecting, look, I want to see massive battles like Gettysburg and the other movies. No, it's not. It's not going to be like that. It's more about the story, about the characters and such. But overall, I enjoyed the film. It was worth my $10 to see it, and all the popcorn and drinks I spent trying to get it. When it comes on iTunes, which it plans to debut on December 2nd, I actually plan to buy it for the $14.99 price because it's worth it. And it should still be in theaters if you guys want to go. There's some theaters that still are showing it. If not, get it on iTunes when it comes out on HD on December 2nd. That does it for this review, guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. See you then.